Episode 2. I'll be honest, I'm still in my fucking work clothes, dude. I apologize if I cannot read. There might be a lot of cuts in this one. Welcome back. Today we'll dive into one of the most traumatic moral panics in the recent US history, the Satanic Panic. Over the next hour, we'll explore what it was, how it got started, some key cases, the evidence, or lack thereof, its decline, and its lasting cultural legacy. And remember, take this all with a grain of salt. To understand the Satanic Panic, we need to look at the cultural of the late 1970s and the early 1980s. The era was rife with anxieties, rising divorce rates, more dual working parents, more children in daycare, and increasing visibility of occult themes in pop culture like horror films, heavy metal music, or even role playing games. A pivotal spark often cited is the publication of Michelle Remembers in 1980, a book by Canadian psychologist Lawrence Pazder, apologies for my bad grammar, and his patient, quote unquote, Michelle, recounting repossessed memories of ritual abuse by satanic cults. The text became influential in spreading belief in hidden ritual abuse networks. The concept was that underneath everyday life, secret satanic cults were abusing children, performing sacrifices, burying tunnels, and so on. The narrative captivated sensationalist media, talk shows, evangelical Christian communities, but also at the same time, therapy practice in 1980s were experimenting with recovered memory techniques, also known as hypnosis or guided imagery, sodium amytal, also known as truth serum, which all which of which sometimes catalyzed false memories or exaggerations. All this came together in a volatile mixture: societal anxiety, media sensationalism, therapeutic practices, pushing memory recovery, and fears about hidden evil. Let's walk through several embellishment cases that fueled and exemplified the panic. The McMartin Preschool, one of the most famous and longest running cases. The McMartin Preschool case began in 1983 when a mother accused a teacher of molesting her child. From there, the cases ballooned. Children began alleging tunnels, flying teachers, satanic rituals, goat man apparitions, even involvement of Hollywood figures. Investigators and therapists use highly suggestive interviewing methods like encouraging children to pretend, praising correct responses, asking repeated leading questions. Excavations to supposed tunnels were undertaken through professional archaeologists. Later concluded that what was found was likely debris or sewer lines, not technically secret cult tunnels. After years of trials, no convictions were secured. The case became a cautionary tale of how far moral panic can wrap justice. The Kellers and daycare accusations in Texas. The 1992 Daniel and Frances Keller, who ran a daycare in Austin, Texas, were accused of horrific sexual and ritual abuse, including claims of drinking blood and digging up bodies. They were convicted and spent more than 20 years in prison. However, in 2013 and later actions, prosecutors dismissed the case, citing inconsistent testimony, undisclosed evidence, and unreliable interviewing methods. This case illustrates how, once a panic narrative takes hold, the legal machinery can be mobilized to punish people even in the absence of credible evidence. The West Memphis Three in Arkansas. In 1993, three young boys ages 8 were found murdered in a ditch in West Memphis. Three teenage locals, Damian Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miskelly Jr., were arrested and convicted in part because of their outward appearance, also known as goth, listening to heavy metal, occult interests, which fueled suspicion of satanic involvement. Over time, DNA evidence failed to link them to the crime, and after years of activism, they were released in 2011 via a Ford plea. The Lehigh child abuse scare in Utah. In 1985, in Leah, Utah, a babysitter was accused of satanic ritual abuse after seeing a therapist, Barbara Snow, leading to dozens of adults being accused. Investigations show that Snow was reportedly coaching children through a mirror. One man, Alan Hadfield, was convinced despite contradictions. Telephone records placed him far away when the alleged abuse occurred, and receipts showed toys given to children before they were alleged reward timeline. The Faith Chapel Church case, a volunteer babysitter, Dale Akaki, apologies if not right, charged in 1991 in San Diego with ritual abuse, was tried for 35 counts, including abuse and kidnapping. After a 9-month trial, the jury found him not guilty on all accounts. So what did the investigations reveal? How much of the satanic had any grounding in variable fact? The lacking of corroborating physical evidence includes, despite Lugert allegations, hidden tunnels, underground chambers, mass sacrifice, kidnappings, investigators found no credible physical or forensic evidence supporting the existence of organized, widespread satanic ritual abuse cults. The National Center on Child Abuse and Neglect conducted a study reviewing about 12,000 reported accusations of ritual or religious-linked child abuse. Their conclusion: there was no sustained evidence of a well-organized integrational satanic cult engaging in sexual torture, though they found isolated cases where perpetrators claimed satanic affiliation. Interviewing and memory contamination include. One of the most powerful critiques of Satanic Panic is how children and adults were interviewed. Researchers have shown that repeated questioning, leading prompts, interviewer questions, and pressure and praise for confirming the right story can create false memories. In one story, participants were asked about a false memory like getting lost in a mall. After multiple interviews, a quarter of participants recalled the false event, elaborating unnecessary detail. In McMartin, children were sometimes told what others said, praised for telling, or asking to imagine abuse, also known as pretend play, all now discredited techniques. Unreliable witnesses and recantations include many accusers later recanted or changed their testimony. In McMartin, some children admitted their stories had been influenced or fabricated. Some of the initial witnesses in high-profile cases had mental diagnosis or histories of delusional claims. For example, in McMartin, one accuser claimed babies were decapitated and children were forced to drink blood. What the fuck? That's fucking... What the fuck, man? Vampire motherfuckers. The media played a major role in fanning the flames. Television specials, daytime talk shows, sensational headlines, and even fictional accounts of blurred fact and fear. Authorities, social workers, and prosecutors also often assumed the reality of satanic ritual abuse, also known as SRA, without skepticism. Kenneth Lanning, a former FBI agent, critiqued the tendency to treat SRA as a convenient social crutch, an easier narrative than the messy realities of family or sexual abuse. In sum, the foundational claims of large, covert satanic cults abusing children were never corroborated by reliable evidence. The panic was a combination of cultural myth, psychological suggestion, and institutional momentum. By the mid to 1990s, skepticism has grown, investigations and critiques began to dismantle the panic's assumptions. Many prosecutors were dropped or overturned. The FBI and other bodies declared that organized cult networks had not been sustained. The 1994 National Center on Child Abuse and Neglect study, cited earlier, was influential in undermining credential backing for the panic. Some convicted individuals were exhumed or had other cases dismissed, for example, the Kellers, but the effects lingered. False allegations ruined reputations, destroyed careers, and traumatized families. Parents were traumatized to send their children to daycare. Communities were divided. Cultural legacy and resurgence include the Satanic Panic never truly vanished. Its tropes, hidden cults, conspiracy, demonic networks have reappeared in later moral panics. The Satanic Panic 2.0, found in QAnon, anti-trafficking conspiracies, and ritual abuse. Claims in certain online communities and fears of micro-satanic influence. Media podcasters, true crime shows, and documentary filmmakers continue to revisit this era. The panic has become a cautionary tale about how fear can override facts. Man, what a coinky dink that you would just out me out like that, man. Fucking wild. How could you do that to me? Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. I gotta say this now. You don't know who this is yet? Oh, dude, look at his brow. You want to talk? Women want to talk about their brows. Dude, this guy had his brows on fleek. This man had a curling iron for his brows. Also, the case of Michael A. Quanino. I'm just gonna call him Michael because I'm pretty sure I just said that wrong. But with them eyebrows, I can't offend him anymore. An army officer accused of ritual abuse in 1986 gained traction in conspiracy circles through investigators later found in insufficient evidence, and globally, the panic spread beyond the US, such as in South Africa, where in 1992, the Occult-Related Crimes Unit was formed to investigate ritual murder and claims. As we reflect on the strange chapter, some key lessons emerge. 1. Skepticism and standards of evidence. Even the most compelling narratives require corroboration. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The Satanic Panic shows what happens when enthusiasm and fear outrun critical inquiry. 2. Memory is malleable. The human mind is not a perfect recorder. Suggestion, repetition, and pressure can distort memory. An important caution for therapy, integration, and journalism. 3. Institutional incentives and confirmation bias. Once systems, law enforcement, therapy, child protection services, media invest in a narrative, it becomes very hard to unwind it, even in the face of contrary evidence. 4. Moral panics are cynical. Societies repeatedly conjure evil others to channel anxiety. Witches, communists, occults, sexual cults. The pattern reoccurs. 5. Compassion for actual victims. We must not dismiss that child abuse is real. The panic diverted attention from genuine abuse cases. Some abusers even used satanic language as a tool of intimidation. In conclusion, the Satanic Panic was more than a fringe phenomenon. It was a national psychological and legal crisis fueled by fear, cultural anxieties, overreach, memory distortion. It led to decades of harm. Yet, it also offers a powerful warning when society succumbs to its fears, justice and truth can get trampled. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this journey through a darker corner of modern American history, and remember, take everything you hear with a grain of salt, and cut that.